Hello. Good evening, students. I'm your professor, Professor Mercy Modiste. You can call me Mercy or Miss Modiste. No, actually, don't call me Miss Modiste. Just say Professor Modiste. It'll be just fine. Today we are going to be talking about the history of hentai. As you all know, a probably very relevant topic to VAllure and the general anime community as a whole. If you're here, you're probably a sick who gets their jocks off of anime and you're gonna learn where those anime come from. Anyways, there'll be no assignments except for the assignment that you were assigned with last week to talk about your special interest within the Japanese hentai interest. But so far, we will talk about many things, and I'll have to just probably put a disclaimer out because of the topic at hand. Okay, let's go. Okay, so disclaimer. A peek into history is to look upon it and see what has been built upon through many iterations into today's everyday media. The building blocks of the past does not reflect many sentiments now, and there will always be uncomfortable topics to talk about. Often things in the past will have things that will go against many people's morals and values. Please understand that while we look upon the past and its history, that we keep it in the lens of something to learn from and to be aware of its influence in modern time. Also, please note, I will be censoring words, not due to minimizing their meaning or babying them, but due to YouTube's outrageous AI and their tyrannical overview to please advertisers. All in all, you gotta be 18 plus to be here and act like an adult, so if anyone's talking about like some weird shit in the in chat and not putting your hands up, I'm gonna ask you to leave class, okay? All right, okay. So let's get my notes out here because I can't do a lecture without notes, and I haven't done one for a while. Okay, let's get this over with. Hentai is a strictly Western genre which encompasses many types of erotic content that comes from Japan with the anime style. In Japan, hentai is not a genre, so you can't really search up hentai, you know? So, we will usually take the hentai genre moniker and like apply it to like many different things. But in Japan, we call I'm not even Japanese, why would I say that? Anyway, sorry. Hentai is just ero, which is short for erotic. So anime is ero anime. Games are eroge, which is gay is for game. And manga is ero manga. All right. So basically the visuals, games, manga, usually all of that to the Western perspective is just labeled as hentai. Okay, moving on. What is that picture? Ero manga. It's a real place in Australia. Okay, let's talk about the beginnings. Okay, so on the left side, wow, I had to put my fingers up to be like left, right. Okay, we have Shunga, which roughly translates to pictures of spring or spring picture. Spring is used as a euphemism for they are ukiyo-e art on woodblock prints that were highly popular and collected in the Edo period. Used as talismans and even wedding presents, merchants would carry them around to ward off fires from their warehouses and homes, and samurai carried it around to protect them from death. Allegedly. Allegedly. This could just be an excuse for, like, yeah, that's actually why I'm carrying it around, not just because I'm, like, you know, that may have just been an excuse, but but we'll just take it as it is. We'll take it as it says. Due to repeated government intervention, Shunga went underground, but production and sales continued to flourish. Shunga eventually lost its popularity in the Meiji era thanks to the rising popularity of erotic photographs. They're pretty wild wedding presents. There are some people that say that Shunga was kind of a, you know, how-to instructional manual, but there's also a professor, a researcher that said there was already manuals for the deed when it came at that time. So I'm not really sure if Shunga was actually used as wedding presents as instruction manuals. Okay. So, let's see. Where am I? Okay. So, erotic animation was seen as early as the 1920s in the West America. They're usually called stag films or blue movies or smokers, often shown at gentlemen's clubs, fraternities, and brothels on usually 18mm films. Susumi Bune, that came out in 1939. Actually, the year is unknown about when it actually came out. Some say it was 1929. Other people say 1947, but the written down record has been 1939. So Susumi Bune was a part of what was called blue film in Japan. Notice blue movies and blue film in Japan, they have probably a correlation to each other. I'm not sure why it's called blue. I haven't found out why they were called blue, but they are. But they are called blue films. So blue film was a slang term for illegal, sexual, or obscene videos that were secretly shown at restaurants, hot springs in the Taisho era. Susumi Bune was one of them, and and we only really have records of Susumi Bune due to a painter named Moriyaku review in a sexology magazine called Ningen Tankyu. Due to the film being confiscated many times by authorities, but a 35mm version of Susumi Bune was donated to the Film Center, currently National Film Archive, in 2017. But I have yet to actually see any screenshots or like films of it. Currently, the art on the right now is actually from a manga. It was drawn by Kogo Sugao in a manga called Obiya Kagyo, of his recollection of what Susumi Bune looked like. And it was actually highly influential. It says that a lot of artists went to see the film, of course, because it was like highly illegal. They didn't really tell you where or like how they saw it, but a lot of people were quite inspired by this anime. It's like the first Arrow animation is Lost Media. Not quite, because it was donated. I just haven't seen it. I don't think anyone's seen it yet. It's still in the archives. All right. I think I'm going through this too fast. Are you guys thinking that I'm going through this too fast? I feel like I am. I don't have that many slides. Okay, I'll slow down. I'll slow down a bit. So, this is early, before hentai and like H animation is what is known as what it is today. This is like primarily Japanese art. I'll do some fillers in here. Shunga was actually seen by a lot of by Americans. It was obviously taken with disgust, and people did not appreciate it. In fact, I forgot the researcher's name, but he wanted to look at Shunga art that was in the British Museum, and the British Museum was like, "No, we can't show that. We can't show that. It's too obscene." And later, I think in 2014, the British Museum had a whole showcase for Shunga. Shunga itself is a really big topic. It spans through like so many years, and probably the most popular Shunga artist is oh shit. Give me a second. My brain is shutting off. Fisherman's daughter. The wave one. Dreams of Fisherman's Wife, yeah. Hokusai. Yeah, there we go, Hokusai. I didn't write this down. I'm trying to fill it in so we have more time together. Okay, moving on. Okay, so the modern beginnings of hentai as we know it, cartoon animations of Japanese origin, the anime style art created in Japan, which is kind of really interesting. This is an aside, but anime as we know it today was highly influenced by and Western animation, so we all come to a full circle now that and other Western animation is now influenced by anime. Okay, so let's start like super early. Not that early, actually. Some of you might have been alive somehow. In the 60s and early 70s, there was something called sexploitation films. Should I have censored that? Asian films. Independent, low-budget feature films shown in grindhouse theaters, which were then copied by Japan and called pink films, which continue its popularity today. And by the end of the rise of the sexploitation films came the golden age of porn. 1969 to 1984, a interesting 15 years where explicit films were seen in a very positive light in America. Ushered in after Andy Warhol's film Blue Movie and gaining major public notoriety with the film Deep Throat from 1972, which obviously popularized the act and the term. You may also know Deep Throat from Watergate. Probably based off of the movie where it came from. The golden age of porn was talked about by celebrities, film critics in a positive light due to its high budgets and kind of complex stories. Let's be real. Some of them were very, very comedic, but they nonetheless were complex. During the golden age of porn in America, Osamu Tezuka's Cleopatra, made in 1970, was distributed by Xanadu Production Inc., which renamed it as Cleopatra Queen of Sex, which self-applied the X rating and advertised itself as the first X-rated animated film, even though Fritz the Cat from 1972 officially holds the title. Unfortunately, it did not gain much popularity due to the lack of pornography and false advertising because Cleopatra did not have a lot of sex in that film. But Cleopatra is actually the second film of a trilogy called Anirama in Japan, which was conceived by Osamu Tezuka. The first film, 1001 Nights from 1969, this one right down here, was a hit in Japan. The third film being Belladonna of Sadness, which is one of my all-time favorite films. Oh yeah, sorry. I wasn't paying attention to alerts or anything. Thank you for. I'll thank at the end. But teacher, will this be up here on the exam? Everything's on the exam. Just assume everything's on the exam. Write it down. Take notes. Okay.
Woman raising hand emoji. Miss, will there be homework?
Belladonna. Will there be homework? You already had homework. It's due next week. Okay. Hentai, as we know it today, arrived at the end of the golden age of porn in America. But at the height of the lollipop boom in Japan. What a sentence, am I right? The anime style hentai that we know started with a collection of OVAs called Lolita Anime from in February 1984 with taboo themes such as, you know, and Yuri and BDSM, but the same year. The same year, Cream Lemon, also released in 1984, made a lot of people aware of Ero anime. It is the longest running and highly influential series. You may have heard of it, you may have seen it. In fact, it was so influential and so popular that if you know the anime, Project A-Cole was meant to be the third installment of the Cream Lemon series. Cream Lemon, most reoccurring story and character is the incestuous relationship between Ami and her brother Hiroshi, which may explain why incest stories is highly popular in Japan due to its taboo. And we're just gonna exclude the fact that the curation story of Japan in this mythology is right full of it. It's right full of it. Okay, so this is Lida anime. This one is Cream Lemon. And oh, I'm in the way. Okay, I'm in the way. Circling back to the end of the golden age of porn in the US, anti-obscenity laws really came into effect, causing several arrests of actors and people involved in some of the biggest films during the time. The lead actor of Deep Throat, Harry Reams, was one of many actors to have been arrested and prosecuted solely for appearing in a film. Which is really unfair, in my opinion. So crazy, right? And because of, like, such a huge takedown, like, so many people were arrested, fined, imprisoned, that the birth of home videos, VCR, direct-to-video, came and exploded. The ability to purchase videos for private viewing went well into the 90s and beyond. Short-form videos began to emerge, dropping complex plot and experimental vision to low-budget porn tropes that we know today, like the pizza delivery guy. The direct-to-video popularity was a reason why... Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I'm sorry, I'm sick. What did I say? Okay, the direct-to-video popularity was a direct reason why companies also started to import Rotsuki Doji, also known for the reason why popularizing tentacle was noted to why the popularity of hentai in the English-speaking world boomed. And it boomed! Many titles actually getting obtained and released in the 1990s. Bible Black, probably you guys know it, was distributed by Kitty Media. Kitty Media now was obtained by Faku in 2017. Faku being one of the reasons why doujinshi is being translated and distributed in English nowadays. Kite also gained a huge popularity, releasing a safer work version and even a direct-to-video live-action version. Oh, dang. Hold on. That starred Samuel L. Jackson for some reason. Like, for real. Universally panned, by the way. Okay. But that's not all. During the hentai boom, Megatech Software distributed Cobra Mission Panic in Cobra City in 1992, making it one of the first translated hentai video games to release into English territories. Japanese publisher Himeya Soft opened a California subsidiary in 1998 called Himeya Soft USA that partnered with Seaware to release their adult video games for Western audiences, which includes Divided, which Divided is many Westerners' first introduction to Japanese eroge. Today, many publishers such as Jast and Manga Gamers are the forefront of the translation and distribution of visual novels and eroge today. And the world still can't get enough of it. This is from Pornhub's 2024 year-end review. I'll just read it verbatim. The anime craze continues for the 4th year in a row. People can't get enough of author-created and generated content. Animated characters have become part of everyday culture, from TV shows and movies we watch to anime-style characters featured in illustrations and popular video games. It's no surprise then that people are seeking out anime and 3D content on Pornhub as well, with hentai as the #1 search. And for the 4th straight year in a row, in the world, by the way, and anime rose 4 spots to become the 7th top term of the year. Searches for animation
as a kid
this year, 2024, grew by 28%, and searches containing 3D were up 19%.
Anime is not
as
for
far
kids.
as gaining
warning
searches
was real.
went, realistic animated was up 78%. Gay animated was up 23%. Rule 34 animated was up 15%. They also put a note in here for their year-end roundup that says, for those who are unfamiliar, Rule 34 refers to the porn version of something such as video game characters or comic book characters who are typically unassociated with it. All right. Today, Japanese media is continuously translated into English-speaking audiences, including many erotica and many shows that are influenced by anime and its aesthetics. Many well-known artists got their footing in H content and continue to do so today. While there are shifting trends in today's cultural zeitgeist, I believe, this is my opinion, that the past footprints leads us to where we are today. There are many beloved series that have a history and background in erotic content, and we should not dismiss them as merely gooner content. To me, they all have artistic merit in that we all have the freedom to tell stories and show creativity in many ways. They are all worthy of being preserved and continued for generations to inspire and learn from. right. Any questions? I'm not taking critiques. Honestly, needed more tentacles. I told you. I kind of gave you where the origin came from. So, no questions. Enjoy the presentation. Okay, good. Sensei, when did the mpreg start? Well, that is a whole nother topic and a whole nother can of worms. I do know that like doujinshi has always been in the realms of mpreg. Notably, one of Clamp's earliest first work is a Jotaro and what's the red guy's hair? Again, mpreg doujinshi before they became popular. Kakuin, yeah. Where does VAllure fit into all of this? Well, VAllure is highly inspired by hentai. I didn't censor myself the entire time, but I'm going to censor myself now. The creation of VAllure is through the inspiration of this topic that we are talking about today. We call ourselves vtubers because of the influence and taking inspiration from Japan. Okay. Sensei, where does doujinshi culture fit in this? Doujinshi culture is actually where a lot of your favorite artists and creators got their footing in. Doujinshi just roughly means self-published. So a lot of the content for self-published were erotic in nature. But doujinshi itself does not necessarily mean that they had to be erotic content. So Crunchyroll actually has a pretty good video. They have their own history of hentai that they have, which talks about a lot of what your favorite artists are and their footing and what their doujinshi circle was called and when they got published and whether or not they still continue it to this day, or if they started in something kind of like quite what we consider as normal into erotic content, or vice versa. I'm serious. Question, Professor, how was hentai generally affected Japan's cultural growth? Do they love it as much as the West, or are they sick of seeing it? Honestly, I don't think they care. I'll tell the reason why, and this is just my personal anecdotal, it's because when I lived in Japan, the video stores had its own section for adult content that was behind a curtain. It was humongous, okay? It exists, it's huge, it's everywhere, you know? So I'm 100% sure probably people really do enjoy it, but the amount of consumerism depends on, well, the person. Honestly, I remember Blockbuster and like video rental stores actually let people rent hentai. But you had to be like 18 plus or older. They had their own section as well. Sensei, do you know if the first doujin were ero or did that come later? Honestly, I can't say. The reason why we don't say that is because
on what
we
to watch
can't,
for
for
homework?
self-made content. Most of the first are only because they declare themselves as the first. For example, I wouldn't even know if Lolita anime was actually the first or if it just claims to be first. For example, D.W. Griffith claims to have created the close-up, but did he really, or did he just be, or was he just the first to lay claim to it? You get what I'm saying? So if no one lays claim to the this is the first doujinshi ever, we wouldn't know. In the past, there would be like, you know, underground magazines, zines, and stuff like all in circulation. So it's really hard to just pinpoint exactly which one's the first. So this could be the first, or maybe this other thing could be the first. In fact, we just don't know. So fan work is really broad. Is that the same for BL and yaoi? I'll be real with you. BL and yaoi does have its footing in Shunga. Shunga did have art depicting same sex all the time. Even older works would have it. So, what was the origin? I don't know. The world has always been very, very circular. So, if you notice throughout this presentation, things come up all the time. Government intervention, going underground, government intervention, bringing things back home. Oh, private viewings now. All history is literally a wheel. It just turns and goes back to the same spot in a different way, and sometimes it goes backwards and then leads to a different spot. So, yeah. So, yeah, I hope that you guys learned something. We're a bit over time now, but I hope that was an interesting lesson for you guys. The topic is incredibly diverse and vast. I cannot get into all of it in 30 minutes. So if you'd like to have a deeper dive, I highly recommend self-study. Or if you get the chance at your university, there might be a class that does the history of pornography and other things. That's how I kind of got into this by learning in university. Thank you everyone for the super chats and the gifted subs. Let me just go through some of the supas. Do you have any recommendations on what to watch for homework? Personally, let's go back to this slide. Oh, not that slide. Not this slide, actually. Sorry. This slide. I recommend this one. A Time to Screw. In English, it's hilarious. If you like ghost stories, fun dub, this is like an incredible fun dub as well. I also highly recommend Moonlight Lady. I believe it's published by what was it? Pink Pineapple? Pink Pineapple, that one's kind of an edgier one. Go through the classics if you'd like. You can also try. I hate this. I hate this. You can also try Urotsuki Doji. This is the reason why everything got popular in the first place, especially in English-speaking countries. So those are the ones I recommend. You can do whatever you want as well. If you haven't tried Kite yet, I don't know why you haven't. Go ahead. I remember. Okay, this is a fun story. This is so overtime. But apparently, Bible Black in Canada accidentally was shown on accidentally shown on a popular on Teletoon. But just the first 30 minutes before they took it down. Realizing what it was, because it was in an anime time slot for movies. I don't think they realized what type of movie it was. Okay, I am not gonna lie to you. I have so many of my friends that said they accidentally watched Urotsuki Doji by accident because they borrowed a film from from Blockbuster, and then they opened it, and then it was not the anime that they rented. It was Utsuki Doji. And that's how some people got into it, because people were mean. It's like the people that flipped Jack Frost and then the horror movie Jack Frost, the films, and then they would just take it home, and then they would think it was a fun family movie, but turns out it's a violent horror film with sexual content. So yeah, that's a lot of people's first. A lot of these, the ones that I have up here are very popular. So night shift nurses, that's extremely popular. I remember people talking about this. I still see gifs of this all the time. Beat Angel Escalator. This is a magical girl hentai that you might enjoy if you're into that. Yeah. Sorry for, let's see, as a kid, I saw Urotsuki Doji at the video store, saw the warning, and thought, that's right, anime is not for kids. Found out the warning was real! Yeah, it was. You notice that a lot of these have, absolutely not for children. Warning, absolutely not for children. Warning, not for children! That warning was everywhere. I'm sorry. I'm just jumping through slides because it's doing that. Anyways, thank you everyone for joining me today. I hope you guys learned something. Aside from being a sick that gets their jocks off of the anime. This is a very vast topic, and even now things are continually making history. So the thing is that I would have talked about Yosuga no Sora and how its influence on mainstream on TV hentai, but I found no records of it, and I feel like and I just remember it from my own experience, but there's no records of it on Wikipedia or any other sites, because the other sites were all taken down. So I'm not sure. I do remember going through it, going oh, and seeing news articles, but now people lost servers and stuff, and news articles aren't up anymore. I'm not even sure if I can actually properly do proper citations for it. Because it was just my own experience. Do I like Bible Black? Yes. Do you know why I like Bible Black? It's because it's kind of edgy and like dark, and I'm really into like, you know, like kind of like darker, more grimy stories. I'm 13 years old. Get out of here. You're not supposed to be here. This is an adult-only conversation. Honestly, if you guys notice... Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going over time. Sorry. If you notice, eroge and the boom tends to lay onto the more violent stuff. Violence Jack. Bible Black. Kite. Even the erogates imported, Divided, Cobra Mission, they're all kind of like edgier stuff. So they definitely target the Western audience for their love of like kind of like the darker topics as well. So like, yeah, Ninja Scroll example, like that boomed in popularity. I wouldn't really call it pornography, you know. Same thing with like Wicked City. Wicked City, I wouldn't really call it, you know, pornography, but it does have some ero content in it. Yeah. Who's the best girl in BB? Bible Black or Blaze Blue? Or Breaking Bad? Okay, we're over time. Well, it doesn't really matter. We're over time by like 12 minutes. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm such a yapper. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining me today. I hope you learned stuff. This is the third time I have me saying it. I should probably leave though. My stomach's starting to hurt. So thanks everyone. Okay, bye-bye. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Don't forget your homework next week. And this will be on the final exam. Okay, see you later. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.